How's it going, everyone? It has been long overdue since I did a good old-fashioned blog video giving you an update on my anxiety, depression, loneliness, and aspirations for a relationship and my dreams and what they entail of and kind of my experiences this past summer with the hiking group. But before I get to that, I want to give a huge thank you to Joey B. Tunes. And I know this may be shocking to some of you because some of you out there may be thinking he was bullying me, he was picking an easy target or a low-hanging fruit. But sometimes in life, we have to be willing to accept tough love. Because I know in a lot of my older videos, I was really self-sabotaging myself. Now, it's one thing to document one's journey on depression, social anxiety, loneliness, but there is a fine line in doing it in ways that's productive and that's inspiring versus just completely self-sabotaging yourself and pointing out every single flaw that you can think of about yourself. Because that's not going to attract anyone into your life. It's not going to help you make any friends. It's not going to, if you're a guy, it's not going to attract any women into your life. And so I think Joey B. Tunes kind of really helped to point that out. So from now on, when I do talk about my depression and anxiety, it's going to be challenging to do it in a means to where I'm not hopping back on that pity train, because I decided to hop off that train a few months ago. But I will say, I still got my challenges. I still have social anxiety. I still have depression. I still have loneliness. I still have this strong desire for an intimate relationship. But at the same time, you can't be desperate. Now, I liked how someone said it. It's one thing to be thirsty for a relationship, but not desperate. And of course, it is challenging because here I am. I'm going to be 47 in January and not really having ever been in a long-term romantic, intimate relationship. That is a pretty scary thought. And that kind of does put me in a bad light, not so much because I'm a bad person, but because of the inexperience. And a lot of people my age, or even a little bit younger, are kind of like done with like that high school crud. I mean, but it's tough to say because I feel like you kind of have to let it happen naturally. And so before I kind of sound like I'm going too much on a pity train, yes, a lot of us out there want to be in a relationship. We want to have that partner we can share our life with, to go through our good and bad times with, to share our adventures with. That's been a dream of mine for a long time, but I can't force it. I can't come across as overly desperate. But at the same time, it's kind of like, how can you do it in a means to where it's like you're putting yourself out there, you're thirsty for it, but you're not like overly desperate. So thank you, Joey B. Tunes, for kind of helping me to kind of quit self-sabotaging myself. So on to kind of sharing with you guys some of the things I've been going through this past summer when it comes to like meeting new people and just mingling with this singles hiking group, the 40 plus singles hiking group, and what my thoughts are going on forward, and just kind of like some of the emotions that I've been going through this past summer. Because I will say, this past summer, it has been a lot of fun. I've done a lot of awesome group hikes. I've met a lot of new people, but it has been a roller coaster emotionally. There have been times where I felt like, oh, I'm finally coming out of my shell, and I'm finally on my way to meeting my close group of friends I'm going to be able to do smaller group hikes with, maybe go on road trips with, or just go out and do a river rafting trip, or just hang out and do some backpacking. Then there'd be the next week I would fall into a super deep depression and wondering, did I come across as super socially awkward? There's the fact that I've never really been in an long-term intimate relationship. Is that going to be frowned upon? The fact that I've never been married, I don't have kids. What the other people in the group think about a man who's never been married, no kids. Because here's the thing. It is a singles group. And you got to admit, most of us, if not all of us, are there in hopes of finding our partner. I mean, let's be honest. Even though people will say, oh, I'm in this group to try to make new friends and not hike alone, you gotta realize, I mean, there's a motive behind joining specifically a singles group. And I mean, I'm going to be honest. I mean, it's to hopefully find, a partner in life, to find a woman I can share my life with. But here's the thing. A lot of these women and men in this group, they've been in prior relationships. They've got kids. So a lot of these people in the group have things they can kind of share stories with. they can offer support. They have commonalities in that they've experienced being in a relationship. They've experienced the traumas of being left completely homeless or being abused. So they can offer support to one another. And I feel like that can actually form super strong bonds between one another. Whereas I have a lack of experience when it comes to relationships. I don't have kids. So I feel like I don't really have much to offer when it comes to trying to offer someone support in terms of what they've been through. Maybe I can, maybe or not, but I feel like there is that commonality between other people in the group when it comes to like having raised children, being divorced or widowed. And so I don't really have that to offer. So I think it does make it super challenging. And the other thing too is I know I kind of tend to think that, that money is important. And no, money is, it's important, but here's the thing. Money is not really something that, okay, let me go back here. I think it's really offensive to assume that all women want in a man is money. Yes, that's offensive because before I go any further, I read a really funny post last night. And I don't know if this guy was tipsy or if he was down or if he got, if he just broke up. But he actually posted in a singles forum, his question was, how much money do I need to make to be acceptable for a woman to go out on a date with me? And the comments were just, people were like pretty much outraged. They were like, if you think that women only care about how much money you make, then you need to look elsewhere. Or I find that really offensive that you would think that women only care about how much money a man makes. Or another person was like, well, now we know why this person is still single, because obviously he only thinks that women care about money only. Or another person was like, it's only been 20 minutes. It's still not too late to delete this. So what I'm getting at is, yes, money, it does help to be financially independent. But here's what I'm getting at. Is I feel like it shows that you do have ambition and drive. But that's not to say that someone who's working a lower wage job is not ambition and has drive either. You could be working a low wage job, but as long as you're working to improve yourself, you're getting education, and you're trying to find yourself a better job, that's a whole different story. That's ambition, that's drive. So what I'm getting at is, I know many times over the course of the summer, I've always kind of felt like that because I'm living with roommates and I've had bad luck with my career, that I'm not going to be seen as ambitious, or that I lack drive. And so that's kind of been in the back of my mind. Or maybe that my lack of experience when it comes to having a relationship with a woman, or just the fact that I was a complete recluse. 6 months ago, when I made that Being Ugly video of having no friends, I was a complete recluse. I had 0 friends. So of course, I am going to be really socially rusty, poor social skills, socially awkward. So there have been many times this summer where I have kind of wondered, am I too socially awkward? Am I saying the wrong things? Or am I just coming across as a creep? So it's been a roller coaster of a ride emotionally. But I will say I have made a lot of improvements over this past summer, but I still have a long ways to go. And there's even this one girl that I'm really interested in the 40+ singles in the 40+ singles group. But whether or not she's interested in me, I don't know. I doubt it. Even though a couple people say that she looks like she's really into me, it's hard to say, because from what I've been told, when a woman's really into you, they'll start messaging you. They'll start texting you. They'll call you. They'll be like, "Hey, you want to go down and do a rafting trip, or you want to go down and do some paddle boarding, or you want to go on a." They will be the one to invite you to go out with them. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been told. If you've hung out with a woman on more than a few occasions, and if they have any kind of interest, then they would more than likely be messaging you, or at least being like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It's hard to say, but I do have interest in this one woman, but I don't know if she has interest in me. And it's kind of, it is a little saddening, because we share a lot of the same commonalities. She is she's got endurance like no one else. I mean, she can do 20, 25 miles, and it's like as if it were nothing. She's like the kind of person where she reminds me of my ski buddy that I would hang out with frequently in my late teens, early 20s. He would be like, Donnelly, you want to go scramble up Alpental? I mean, she is that kind of woman. She's the kind of woman that would be like, hey, she would like jump off a 30-foot, 40-foot cliff in the water. I mean, yes, she's that. I mean, she is like my dream girl. I mean, I'm just being honest. That is my dream girl right there. And just her demeanor, just that she's not into this BS. She's not into like all this drama. I mean, but it is what it is. So that's the kind of woman I'm looking for. Someone that I can really, truly share my adventures with. That I can really be like, hey, you want to go for a scramble? You want to go there to scramble? Hey, let's scramble up to the top of this ridge and see where it goes. Oh, do you think there's a lake down there on the other side, a couple miles? Let's go find a lake and go for a swim. I mean, that's like experiencing heaven on earth right there. So, but I gotta also remember that there are 7 billion people on this planet. So that's the other thing. So Joey B. Tunes, if he were watching this right now, he'd be like, Donnelly, my man, you've got to get out of your head. This is only one girl. There are 7 other billion people on this planet. There could be someone off in Spain. There could be someone off in Thailand. There could be someone off in Peru, Colombia, France that's got those exact same qualities that you're looking for. Go out there, get off that couch, and go out there and do some traveling, and you'll find that woman that you can bond with, that you can conversate with, that you can have deep, meaningful conversations with, share those hikes under the star-lit sky and the full moon. I mean, she's out there somewhere. So, I mean, it's kind of easy to kind of fall into this trap thinking that, oh, she's the only one out there, or I will never find another one out there like her. And it's easy to fall into that trap because, yes, I have been suffering from loneliness for, many years now. I'm looking at potentially going into another holiday season by myself. I mean, maybe not. The summer's not over yet. Summer's not even over yet. So who knows what will happen? Maybe I'm completely wrong of what this woman thinks about me. Who knows? But like I said, it's easy to fall into that trap of kind of like desperation, because it's one thing to be thirsty, looking for a relationship, putting yourself out there, but you don't want to be desperate. And yes, easier said than done, especially when you're in your middle to upper 40s and you kind of think that your time is running out. So this is why I say to all of you people out there in your 20s and your 30s and even your teens, don't wait till you're my age to start making those changes. Do it now. And I don't like to sound like I'm preaching, but you don't want to put it off. I mean, because loneliness over time will start to affect you, not only mentally, but physically as well. Do not let yourself become overwhelmed with your social anxiety, because especially if you're in your teens and 20s, you've got a lot of time to start making those positive changes. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. It's been a great summer, doing these group hikes with the singles group. I'm going to be going to a social gathering at someone's house this Saturday, and potentially there's a barbecue next Saturday. So it's not all said and done. But if you guys saw my recent quick little video I did on the enchantments, and I'm going to be making a longer video on my journey through the enchantments, I went with a group of 4 other people, and 2 of us split off from the group. One person, he went way ahead of the group, and I ended up splitting off from the group a few hours later. But it was interesting because the person who finished the hike first, he and I had a really good conversation after the hike. And it got me into thinking that, wait a sec, maybe I got to really, truly put myself out there. And what I mean by truly putting myself out there is, from his experience, he enjoyed the rest of his hike. He started talking with people on the hike. He even got an Instagram account. I think he even got some phone numbers of other people that he hiked with, and potentially made some other friends on the hike. I mean, he hung out with other people, and he met a lot of different people on the hike, because there must have been, I tell you, probably close to 1,000 people on the trail scattered throughout. And so it got me into thinking that next year, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go back into my cycling and skiing a little bit more, but also I'll still do my group hikes with this singles group. But what I am going to do is I'm going to really be doing a lot of these popular hikes. Mailbox Peak, Mount Si, Granite Mountain, the Enchantments, Camp Muir. I mean, these super busy hikes, and just kind of just start, being positive, put myself in a good mood, maybe kind of like do something fun, and just like start randomly talking with random people. I might make it a challenge for me to be like, okay, today when I go up to Mount Si, I'm going to make it a challenge for me to say hi to at least 5 people. The next time I do Mount Si, I might make it a challenge for me to say hi to at least 10 people and strike up at least a 1 to 2 minute conversation with at least one person. And I mean, really start putting myself out there. Because like I said, it's been a roller coaster of a ride this past summer. And you are kind of limited to when you just kind of go out with a singles group and instead really putting yourself out there and meeting random people. Because I think it's going to come down to just going out there, going on super populated hikes and really putting myself out there. And maybe going to a different state next summer for a little bit. Maybe doing like the Angel's Landing. That's a super popular hike. It's death-defying too. I mean, it is so technical that they have chains that people hold on to, because if you fall, I mean, it could be bad. It could be a serious injury or fatality. And that's how dangerous a hike is. They literally got chains. So maybe take a trip to Zion, Utah, do Angel's Landing, do some of the canyon hikes, and just really go out there and start meeting random people. And once this pandemic is more under control, go overseas. I plan to go overseas, like places in Europe, Asia, South America. Because, like I said, Joy B. Tunes, if he's watching this right now, he's going to be saying like, yeah, Donnelly, when this pandemic is over, you've got to go. You've got to just get out there, be confident in who you are, because that's what it all comes down to. I'm still suffering from my social anxiety. I'm kind of like, am I saying the right things? And I'm still hesitant, even though I've been hiking with this group of people now several times. I'm still a little hesitant on, making sure I don't say the wrong things, or kind of like I'm still afraid to talk with some of the women in the group because I'm thinking they might see me as, flawed, or maybe because I've never been married. It's like, so it's kind of like those feelings in my mind, those thoughts in my head that kind of spike up my social anxiety. And then of course that leads to depression, and then, the lack of interaction leads to loneliness. And so it's kind of like a vicious cycle. So I've got to kind of just maybe take a vastly different approach. And that's what I'm going to do next year, is take a vastly different approach. Because when you meet someone you don't know, they don't know that you've never been married. They don't know that you don't have kids. They know you for what you are in the moment. And then from there, just be yourself. And it's like, as someone mentioned in a forum last night, women do not care how much money you make. If a woman cared about how much I made or what my earning potential is that the kind of woman I really want in my life? Hell no. I don't want a woman that only wants me for how much I can potentially make after I finish this software development program of mine. No, that's not the kind of woman I want. Do I want a woman who's going to judge me on the fact that I've never been married or that I don't have kids? Hell no. I want a woman who's going to accept me for who I am, for someone who loves to go out there on adventures, who loves to go out there and maybe go out the beaten path, maybe go out there and hit up the gym, or go out there and travel, do some paddle boarding, or hit up the restaurants, the wineries, or just do good old, maybe go on a sky lunch, eat lunch like 1,000 feet off the ground. They have like these things called the sky lunch or something. Just someone I can truly be myself with. I don't have to fake it. I can just truly be myself, authentic, honest, have deep conversations with. And it may happen this year, it may happen next year, it may happen 2 years from now, but I think it's going to take doing a much different strategy. But like I said, I'm not giving up yet. Like I said, there is someone I'm interested in. Whether or not she's interested in me, who's to say? I don't know. So I'm not completely giving up on it, but I'm having a plan. I'm having a backup plan, because I tell you, loneliness really sucks. And this couch that I'm sitting on, the very couch I was sitting on 6 months ago, and I know it's been long overdue, but I really wanted to kind of share with you guys just kind of like some of the stuff I've been going through, I've been having, my lonely bouts this summer, lots of lonely bouts, because depression is an uphill battle. It is really truly an uphill battle. And I don't know if it's something that can ever be completely cured, but I do feel like loneliness and depression is something that can be coped with. It can be kept under control. I can put those demons in their boxes, put them off to the side, kind of let them, have their own little playground. And then sometimes you've got to kind of like this, revisit them, but in a controlled, in a much more controlled manner, because they may never completely go away, but just kind of being able to like, okay, work within myself, work on, confronting those inner demons, boxing them up, putting them aside, let them, give them a little bit of their playground, and then just kind of be like, okay, maybe I need to kind of continue to work on myself a little bit, but it doesn't mean I need to be, living the rest of my life completely alone. And for those of you out there, just make those changes now. Maybe it's going to take someone giving you some tough love, but we all have our flaws. We all have our issues. We all maybe have some negative stigmas that we got to overcome. In the end, what really matters is, have we done any harm to anyone? Have we really hurt anyone, in our process? That's the most important thing. And two, another thing I'm planning on doing this holiday, if I'm going to be alone this holiday season, what better thing to do than to volunteer for like a homeless shelter? That's probably what I'm going to end up most likely doing. Say if I'm alone on Thanksgiving or Christmas, there's a homeless shelter right in good old Bellingham. Volunteer, help out with the homeless, because I feel like that's, and I know people have mentioned that, volunteer, and that's exactly what I'm doing, putting my name on that list to volunteer, because it's like, if I come to you guys on Thanksgiving Eve by myself or on Christmas Eve by myself, complaining of being lonely when I could be at a homeless shelter or helping out the homeless, that's not going to look very good on me. So instead, hopefully you guys, if it comes down to that, if I'm still, lonely, if I'm still like single, hopefully, I plan to be coming, from you guys, if it's okay, from like wherever I may be volunteering at, I'd be like, hey guys, I'm here at the, Salvation Army, helping with packaging, or I'm here at the local food bank, or, whatever it may be. So, the holidays are coming up fast. First you got Halloween, then you got Thanksgiving. And I know it's only September, but let's not kid ourselves. The holidays are going to be here before we know it. It's like, time flies, but I can't really be thinking about that too much. I've got to worry about these next couple of weeks, because like I said, I've got a social gathering I'm going to this Saturday, and a potential barbecue that I'm going the following Saturday. So it's not over yet, but it's definitely been an uphill battle with depression, loneliness, and I know one day if I continue to keep at it, change up my strategy, try different things, I feel like I can overcome my loneliness. I will one day be able to find someone I can share my life with. And I know it sounds like I'm desperate, and it's a fine line in terms of like trying not to come across as desperate, trying not to be like on that pity train, but it's like also sharing my journey, because 46 years of age and not ever having really been in a long-term intimate relationship, yes, that is really rare. And a lot of people may think like, you've got some serious issues to have gone on that long. But it's one of those things that I probably will share, that I plan on sharing, in future videos, as to how does someone go almost 47 years without ever really being in a long-term relationship. How does it happen? Why does it happen? And it's people, some people are thinking, oh, I'm just like a complete loony bin, or I'm just like completely damaged. But it may be as simple as like maybe, it comes down to principles, values, maybe, some underlying things going on, here and there. But I'd like to say that, it's time to be someone that can be the exception to the rule, and hopefully inspire other people who are my age or even older, who are trying to make new friends, who are maybe trying to find themselves an intimate partner, that it should never really be too late. Yes, it's going to become significantly harder the older I get. So, of course, that's also that other factor, too, is I've kind of got to be like, okay, wait, I'm going to be 50 before I know it, and it's going to become a lot harder. Not impossible, but a lot harder. So I kind of got to act on it, really put myself out there, be thirsty, but not desperate. I liked when someone mentioned that on a forum that I read on the singles group. It's like, you want to be thirsty, and it was a post that someone else made, but yeah, you want to be thirsty, but you don't want to be desperate, because desperation is going to repel people by the droves. So how do you try to be as happy as you can, as lively as you can? Well, balance. Continue to be happy. Continue to put in the back of your mind that, hey, there are many people out there. Eventually, it's a numbers game. It will happen if you just, go out there and talk to a lot of people. It's pretty much a numbers game. So the more I put myself out there, as long as I continue to be happy and say good things about myself, quit with the negative self-talk. So as I close out this video, and I'm going to say 3 positive things about myself to end this video. So that way I can kind of get the message across that I have hopped off the pity train. And so 3 positive things about myself. Number 1, I feel like I've got a lot of discipline, and I'm going to do really well on my software development program. It's going to be challenging at first to kind of figure out the ropes of it, but once I get in the groove, I'll be doing well. Number 2, I feel like I'm in relatively good shape for someone my age. Number 3, I love to experience physical and mental challenges. I am up for the challenge. Those are 3 positive things I can say for myself. And with that being said, I think it's time for me to hop off this pity couch and kind of get my day going, because I do have a counseling appointment at noon. It's with that intracranial therapy where I kind of do like some of that hypnosis stuff. So I've got to get ready for that. So yep, I've hopped off that couch, but you guys will be seeing me back on that couch to do more of my blogging videos, kind of give you guys an update on my academic journey and my career field for that matter. Yeah, this is the crown that I got from the 40 plus singles hiking group. So it's time to kind of get back into that mentality of how I feel when I'm going for that fast time. And let's see, what else? Now I lost my train of thought again. What else was I going to say? I kind of lost myself there, but it's what happens when I start making longer blogs. I kind of like lose where I'm at in my thoughts. But yeah, just kind of wanted to share with you guys that it's been an ongoing struggle. It's an uphill battle. I have made a lot of progress, and I have started to potentially make some closer connections with people in the group, but we'll see if that person I'm interested in has any interest in me back. We'll see what happens with that. And if not, well, then, it's, move forward, move fast, just kind of continue to put myself out there, go to super busy hikes, go to busy places, and just be positive, and things will fall into place nice and naturally. So, and once again, thanks to Joey B. Tunes for that tough love. Yeah, some may say it was bullying. Some may say it was picking a low fruit or an easy target. But sometimes that's what it takes. It takes a little bit of tough love. And it's kind of like, being thirsty and seeking what we want in life, but at the same time, just kind of keeping ourselves in check. And just remember that we got to be able to have fun in our own company. But yes, it can be challenging in times when we're feeling lonely. I mean, who's not going to feel lonely when they've got several years without a partner in life? I mean, it's safe to say that 46 years is a long time. But hey, if I can overcome the odds, if I can overcome the stigma, then that gives you guys in your teens and 20s and 30s no excuses to start making those changes now. And go find that positivity in life. Go out there, live life, go on adventures, and just know that you too can overcome life's challenges. And with that being said, back out the couch, and I will be sharing with you guys in my next video. That's what I was going to say. My journey and my career field, because you're not going to hear me complain about not being able to find a job, unless of course I can't find a job after completing my software development program with a 6 to 9 month internship. If I still can't find a job after that, well, then I'll worry about that when I cross that bridge, and hopefully it won't come to that, and hopefully I won't be sitting on this couch when I make when I make that video 2 years from now. Hopefully I'll be like saying, hey guys, I work as a software engineer at such and such company, and I get to work remotely, and I'm doing this and that. So, yep, time to get going for now, but I felt it was long overdue that I do a good old-fashioned blogging video, just kind of, sharing my dreams and aspirations for friendship, relationships, kind of my ongoing struggle with depression, anxiety, loneliness. So I'm going to get going for now, but thank you all for watching, and I hope you guys continue to make progress. Thanks for all of your continued support, tough love, and whatever else other advice you guys have to offer me, and I'll be back at you guys soon enough, and I'm going to start working on my enchantments video. It's going to take me some time to do it, but in the meantime, I'll probably come up to you guys with some more blogs and maybe some more quick adventures. So till next time, I'll see you guys later on. Hasta luego!